WGT players, Clint here again with another tutorial video. I thought I'd talk about backspin. If anybody knows how I play, I call my game a game of BS because I use a lot of backspin. Backspin for me is important because, putting's hard enough, so I want to take putting out of my approach shot. So I want to have the ball pretty much stick where it lands. So that's why I use either fullback or halfback, depending on what club I use. And also, I want to, during this video, talk about elevation too, elevation uphill on high elevation. But first, let me just show you. I got we're here at Aaron Hill's first hole, and I want to show you the difference between, hitting like playing pool. If you got a straight in shot, and say you're 8 balls right at the corner pocket, and you don't want the cue ball to follow it in and scratch, you give it backspin. You give it, we call it English here in America. So, of course, the harder you hit the cue ball with backspin, the more spin backwards that it goes. I mean, that's the same with a golf ball. The harder you hit it, the more spin you get. And so on my 3-wood, if I hit anything below 90%, you're not going to get a whole lot of backspin because you're not hitting the ball as hard. Now, I'll try to show you the difference here of hitting it 100% with full back and then say 90% full back. And the 100% full back, it should stick pretty good on the green where it lands. It might roll or move a couple of yards. I can hit the ding. And a hair late. So I got the, and also I want to talk about the apex too. So K265 and it rolled a couple of yards. And the apex, it went 126 feet up in the air. Okay, that's with backspin. And the apex I want to talk about also because that has to do with up elevation approach shots. So let me just, for the heck of it, do another one and hit it flat and see what the apex is on flat. I probably won't even make the green, so just looking at the apex on hitting it flat 100%. Ah, now I hit the ding. See, it's 78. So you're talking about, 50 feet difference between hitting it flat and full back. And that'll come into play once I get to another hole where, you got some elevation to think about. But as I said, full back, it rolled about 2 yards. And for because I hit a little slope up here. But now let me try. I don't think 90% is going to get me up there. So let me get a little closer. Probably about, 30 yards maybe. Yeah, I'll try 30 yards. Yeah, 32. Okay, now I want to go 90% full back and see the difference between 10% power. That's a hair early. Well, I hit that slope. I think I was a little too close. But in reality, you can tell the difference between 100% power and 90% power. Let me go back a bit and hit that slope in the back. 50% flop. Okay. A little early again. There we go. See, it rolls a lot more, and it goes towards that slope. I mean, that would roll 6 yards. So, you know, and well, it didn't reach the slope. But you can tell it's not really breaking a lot left or right here. So, just 10% difference for full back. Like I said, rolling about 6 yards. Last one was 2 yards, so it sticks a lot more with the 100%. So, um, I never hit below 9% full back on my 3-wood because of the extra roll you get. Well, I know I'm in a different hole now or a different course altogether. Well, I was checking out the first part of my video. For some reason, whenever it went to whenever I was showing you my 80-yard loft wedge, my audio started sounding like I was talking through a fan or something. So I'm just going to redo this. This is actually 2 hours later in the day for me. But what I was going to show after the 3-wood was the backspin effect on my 80-yard club, which is my 60-degree loft wedge. Of course, on that one, full back, I never go full back on this club, and I'll show you why. It's going to get a heck of a lot of backspin. This here, I normally, if I, we'll see how they go. if there's not a high elevation on this one, I will go about 3/4 back on this one because I get too much of a backspin going full back. So going 3/4 back at 100%. I hit it late. The stick will go back some, not a whole lot. Like I told about earlier, I like my ball to pretty much stick where it lands. A 3-yard window I'll allow myself. But to me, I would rather worry about how far I want the ball to go, and that's it, instead of worrying about, like I said earlier, how far the ball's going to go, and then it's going to roll, which includes, the slope of the green. You got to put a putt shot in with your approach shot. You're doing 2 shots at once. I don't like that. I would rather just have it, it's going to go X amount of yards, plus or minus 3 yards, and then leave it at that. And I was saying, normally it's 3/4 back. If I hit this thing, even 9% 3/4 back, you're going to get a little bit of a back spin. Even at 90%. Didn't even reach the green there. Well, let's do a little flopperoonie. Get up a little closer. Where'd that go? 68 yards? Okay. All right. Oh, sorry there. So I'll go 90% 3/4 back. And see, it actually rolls forward a couple of yards. So just 10% even on this club, 10% from 100% to 90%. There's a 4-yard window. 100%, of course, 2 yards backwards. 90% was 2 yards forwards. So it still stayed within my 3-yard window that I would prefer to have on my approaches. Now, let's go to another hole where I can put all this stuff together, elevation and the whole 9 yards. All right, I'm here at Marion, hole 2, and it's where the elevation thing is coming into effect. It's 29 feet up, 238, and let me show you a little diagram here I made up. Now, all these lines here are all the same distance; they're all the same length. The little arcs here are pretty close, but they're not exactly to specs. But get a little bit of an idea what I'm talking about with the elevation. Of course, you see how these, first few lines, they reach this pole here. But the higher up you go, the further away it is from the pole, which basically means the higher your elevation, the less your carry is going to be. And you got these, like the first red line here, that would be like if you're hitting it flat. And that would, second one here, like if you're hitting it full back. Of course, you get more of an arch. And so it lands further down than if you was hitting it flat, which also means it's coming in less of an angle when you're hitting it full back than if you're hitting it flat. And so on this one, you got this junk here in front of you got to worry about. You got to carry that. So I can tell you right now, bottom line would be full back, especially with this distance. So, for example, let me, with this figuring pretty much 100% of my 3-wood full back, it'd be, if this wasn't here, my 3-wood flat would be about 88%, 89%. So let me show you flat at 89. See, of course, it ain't going to make it at all. It only carried 190. Now I'm going 89 on full back to show the difference between the two. It's a 190 yard carry. See, it's almost 18, almost 20 yards more of a carry. So it carries more full back, and it comes down in more of a straight slope. Well, not straight, but less of an angle than what if he's hitting it flat. So I don't know how many times, on this hole or other holes we got a lot of elevation playing with somebody, and and they would come up real short, and they're saying, how'd that come up so short? I always ask them the same thing. I said, how much back did you put on it? Of course, they'll say something like, oh, touch of back or a quarter back. So no, you got to give it full back to get it up in the air. If I had a nickel every time I said that to somebody, I'd have $2. But let's see here on 100% full back. Get you over all that junk. And it pretty much stops where it lands. Okay, just a couple yards off. Another thing you can look at, let's say I was further back where I couldn't, reach the green. Then I would look at how far do I have to actually carry this. Okay, or you can just try to hit the bottleneck, up here somewhere. But I would prefer to try to at least carry this. So what I would do is, instead of saying, okay, I got to carry this 215 yards to carry. Well, I'd really give myself a better window, so I'd go far in the middle. So, okay, I gotta go 222 to carry it. All right. So if you're too far away for 100% 3-wood, you'll at least see what's a safe window to carry without, getting into trouble here in this junk here. Alrighty. But that's something you want to look at with, high elevation. And if for some reason you don't like using backspin, I don't know why, you've got your reasons, but I don't know why you would, but had a member of my club a year and a half or so ago. He did not like using backspin. He's afraid that it's just going to spin back, 10, 15 feet every time. I told him, backspin's your best friend. Because as I said earlier, I don't like putting my putt in along with my approach. I like the ball landing and sticking where it's at within 3 yards. That way I can worry about the putt when I'm actually on the green. I just want to worry about how far I want that ball to carry and for it to pretty much stick where it lands. So backspin is very important, especially on elevation, because you want to get it up in the air over all this junk here. So you don't have to worry about, the 60, 70 or the bunker itself. All right, last one here. Bet phase hole 2. This is another one where we got some high elevation, but I'm using my 80-yard 60 wedge, which, like I said, I normally go 3/4 back on. But since there's a 17-foot elevation, I can probably go in 3/4 back. I can probably go like one more click more than 3/4 back. My 3/4 back is this dimple right here. And there's go where I normally go, my regular 3/4 back. Oh, about 95%. See, it rolls forward about a yard. Okay. Now let's just go, just for the heck of it, full back at 94%. Well, I hit 95, didn't I? And remember, on Kiowa, that rolled back, I don't know, what was it, 6, 7 yards, something like that? It rolled back more than 6, I know that. Let's go full back here, which I'll only be going 95 instead of, let's go 100. I might knock that over. Let's try 95 first. I don't want to lose my ball. It's the same percentage, but full back instead of 3/4. See, it still bounces up, a yard. So, due to the elevation, this here, it's coming down more of an angle than if it was a flat green or say, hardly no elevation. Instead of coming down this in an angle, be coming down pretty much straight down, which means it'd give you more backspin instead of coming down in an angle. So even on your short clubs, when you're 15 plus feet uphill, and you normally go 3/4 back on a certain club, even go full back. Let me see what 100% full back does. That's pretty sure on that 95. See, 100% full back, it rolled back 2 yards. So, and that's another thing to look at on your wedges. Going from half back to full back, it's probably about anywhere, depending on what club, anywhere from a 3 to 5 yard change that you have to think about, because you're giving it more back as you're going higher up. But that's really nitpicking. But on the longer clubs, like a 3-wood, between flat and full back, you probably got minus 10 yards from full back than from using flat. So if you have a figure, say you have a figure that you need to hit your 3-wood 98% flat, 88% flat, that means you would add 10 yards to that if you're going to hit full back. Okay, does that make sense? Like the one I was on Marion, my flat figure came out to be 88%, but I actually hit it 100% full back, which added 12 yards. So your 3-wood, of course, you want to figure your own, because different balls, different clubs, but on your 3-wood between flat and full back, you're going to be losing about 7 to 10 yards. So you need to add about that much to what it would be. So like Marion, it was 88% flat. I hit 100% full back. So I actually added 12 yards or 12% to my power. That's nothing you have to think about. Doesn't make a whole lot of difference on short clubs, but your long club, like your 3-wood, 3-iron, pretty much from half back to full back, from flat to full back, you're looking at somewhere around 7 to 10 yards that you're losing from the extra backspin, as in full distance. Because, you might carry as farther, but you won't roll as far. Okay. So I thought I'd throw this in here real quick too on my short club, my 80-yard club on high elevation. That on the average, if you don't go full back on a club because it backspins too much, you can probably do it on this one here because of the elevation and the less of an angle is coming in, or more of an angle than it's coming in, than instead of straight down if it was a flat surface, flat green compared to your fairway. Alrighty. Well, that about covers it, and I do appreciate you watching my video. Got any questions or comments, you put them in the comment section below, and have a wonderful day.